Subscribe, follow, like, share. Last Bell Boxing. These guys give you all the exclusives, and next time I get my fight date, it's going to be exclusive on here as well. So make sure you give them all.
Good evening. Welcome to the latest live edition of Last Bell Boxing. Globetrotting today with Brett from Canada. How you going, Brett?
Doing well, mate. And thanks for my shirt. I love this one, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks, pal.
You're more than welcome. And then from a less glamorous location, Sean from Brighton. How you going, Sean?
Very well, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for digging me out about Liverpool, but we won't dwell on that. So, first topic we're going to cover today, we're going to be looking at the card at the weekend, which I will be ringside for. I'll try not to smile too much, guys, but I'm puzzling for it. So, the one fight that I picked from the undercard is Echo Esserman versus Jack Catterall, because I think this is quite intriguing. Frank Warren's promising a world title shot for the winner of this fight. Obviously, me and Brett, well, loosely Brett, we've got a vested interest because of Nottingham. So I'm going to come to you first, Sean, because you're generally neutral on this one. Interesting fight. Give us your views, give us your breakdown, and who you think is going to take it.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. Have to be honest, not one that thrills me with a lot of excitement and enjoyment about it. I think it can be a bit of a stinker, to be honest, this fight. I would have personally, sort of speaking about local fighters, just going off on it slightly, I would have rather seen Riakpour and Tommy Walsh as the chief support, just because he's a Brighton boy, and obviously Eubank in the main event. But for this fight, I think Catterall will win on points, although we know what Esserman's going to bring. He's going to be there for the duration of the fight, isn't he? He'll be there in front of Catterall.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to points this one, Sean, isn't he? You know, they're not big punches, are they? They've both got good engines. So, you know, I doubt the odds are giving massive other points for him. What makes you go for Catterall then? Just a little bit in terms of level, Sean?
Yeah, although I don't particularly rate Jack Catterall that high. I think he caught Josh Taylor on an off night when he got robbed in that fight. I just think Catterall, with the experience, he's been in there with the higher caliber of fighters, so I think that will see him through.
Okay, coming to you then, Brett. Not sure I can say he's from your hometown due to you being a bit of a Judas and shooting off across the Atlantic, but I'll humour you. Home win for this one, Brett. Home win. Do you think Esserman, people keep writing him off, don't they? He's not meant to be here, and moving up the levels. So give it your thoughts.
I love him, mate, and I love him for that reason, because he's always written off, isn't he? And up until his last fight, I would imagine he probably didn't have a decent payday until his last fight. So this will bring him on the undercard and the magnitude of what this weekend brings. Win, lose, or draw, this brings him another payday, which is fantastic and something that he deserves as he's aging. It don't take any of us to be rocket scientists to think that this is going to go all the way. It could be a boring fight, and it could be a boring unanimous decision for Catterall. But we'll see what Echo's game plan is, and also be very interesting to see if Catterall gets in there and starts trying to emulate Boots.
Yeah,
because he's been in a new camp, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think putting him in the same sentence as Boots is a stretch.
That's his camp. It's when Eubank Jr tried to be Roy Jones Jr. What I'm saying is of course he's not going to be nowhere near the level of Boots, but if he starts doing some of his mannerisms, then he might get caught for it, because Eku's an old wily fox.
And also, here's a scenario for you then. So if he is going to try and adapt to some of the Boots' style, how about if he shoots his muck? How about if he goes too hard in the early rounds and blows himself out?
Could do, mate. If he sticks to his previous game plans, he'll probably win in not pretty fashion, but efficient fashion behind that jab that he's got, and not commit to too many backhands. And but Echo's on a no win, no lose. It doesn't really matter for him, really, does it? It's like he's just gonna throw it all out there. So if he sits on his chest and throws some shots, let's see what he's made of.
I think Echo is going to take this, I do, because I think it's his cup final. He's had a taste of the big time. He ain't going nowhere, and Catterall ain't going to be able to get him out of there. So I think it's going to be a long, hard night for Jack Catterall. And a bit like what he said, I think he might get caught between styles.
Yeah.
So I'm going Echo to win on points.
And I would absolutely love that to be the result. But I just the way that Catchell fights in this and the whole Styles scenario, I just think that he'll tie him up and he'll win. He'll win just by doing enough. But that again, let's wait to see what the adjustments are. And I think you're right, Carl. To be honest, mate, like, does he come out and try and knock him out just because Boots and his dad, maybe they train a little bit different about seek and destroy? Is he going to do something he's never really done before? Let's wait and see.
Yeah. So just in summary, and Sean, give us your final prediction again of this result.
I'll go Catchall points.
Brett?
Same, Catchall points.
Okay, I'll go Echo points. I think we're in for an upset. So moving on to the main event where I'll be ringside. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I think I might be ringside on Saturday. So Eubank Benn 2. I know there's been rumours in the media that, they're talking about ticket sales possibly being down. I don't see that. And Sean mentioned something off here about it doesn't quite feel like a big fight at the minute. And I just think that's due to fight week not kicking off yet. I think as we canter through grand arrivals tomorrow, open workouts, presser, I think it'll start to evolve into a big fight. I think Tottenham will be quite full on the night. So, all the shenanigans aside, coming to you, Brett, first. Give us a little bit of a breakdown of this. Is it nostalgia? Is it going to live up to the first fight? Is it going to be round 13? And how you think it goes?
First of all, I think Eubank Jr is going to get this press week wrong. And I know he's the master. But I think he's going to take his eye off Conor and he's going to attack Eddie and Matchroom all week. And if Conor's got the right people behind him, he'll just sit there, Conor, smiling and keeping his head down. Whereas Eddie, last time, obviously, with the egg and stuff like that, he got into his skinny, riled him right up. I could be wrong because you never know because Eubank Jr is the master at this. But I think he knows he's got Eddie rattled. But that's not going to rattle Conor Benn. Conor Benn had nothing to do with this ambulance scenario.
No.
So so when we're talking about, is it low ticket sales? There's nobody really talking about it. I guarantee that, like you say, is it tomorrow the arrivals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once those arrivals come in, once Eubank spouts something outrageous off, I don't know what day the dad's turning up. Like it'll go again. It'll go again. And in terms of nostalgia, yeah, I think it's got all the makings of being a great fight because Conor Benn will probably box a different fight. But I think he'll be more efficient with his punches. And Eubank, to be honest, I never thought he had that dog in him. If I'm being brutal, regardless of what I've said about him being at the same weight for the last few fights, the weight training, all that type of stuff, mate. You got to say that man is a tough man.
Yeah.
So whatever Conor throws at him, don't be surprised if he throws it back.
So where you go with it, Brett? He gave us a politician answer. I feel like I'm at the ballot box at number 10.
I think it's when you put one of these shirts on, mate. You try and sit on the fence. No, I absolutely think that Conor Benn wins this. I think he's going to have. I think he's going to have Eubank down at one point, but I don't think it's a knockout. And I think Conor Benn wins on points.
Now, someone passed a comment to me, Brett, and I won't name who, but that they suggested Conor Benn might get the victory from a political perspective, so you have to have a third fight to earn even more dough. Possibility, Brett? Dark arts of boxing and all that?
Yeah, possibility, mate. I'd find it very, very strange that given the Eubank and Benn name, Eubank surely, I know it's Bugs Bunny at the end of the day, but how much money do you need when you look at him at the end of the fight and say 2-0, son, still not a Benn that's took a Eubank? Do you know what I mean? Like, I would find it hard that Eubank would throw it, but then again, the politicians around the ringside,
that's where I'm going from. Yeah,
I don't know what they're up to, mate. Because you're right, it does sell tickets. Turkey's struggling for these big fights at the minute, these major fights, and I suppose this is a major fight.
Yeah, I don't think Eubank would throw it or spew it for 1 minute, but it might be taken out of his hands allegedly. I'll say
if it goes to the scorecards, which I anticipate it will anyway.
Some interesting things could happen. Right, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So coming to you next, same question for you, fella. Give us your build up to the fight, how you think it's going, and then give us a breakdown of how it turns out on the night.
Yeah, just on the build-up, as you touched on earlier when we were talking before. I expect it will change, and I think you're right. But just in terms of sort of build up before the grand arrivals, I know that's more of an American thing than we're generally used to. But it just feels to me that there's just not the spark in this fight. I think they're a bit friendlier between the two now because of what happened last time. So I think, in terms of build up, I haven't had many messages, and I don't see many people talking about the fight like there was last time. Granted that may change for only Monday or fight week, but for me, it just doesn't feel as big as the first one, probably rightly so. In terms of the fight, I've got to back the local man. I've got to back Junior. I think he'll put the same performance in, really. There's talk of it being his last fight regardless. I know his dad wants him to retire. I can see that, to be honest. I can see him going out. I mean, what a way to go out, beating Conor Benn twice. I mean, he's never going to beat a Canelo. Let's have that right. So I think it's a good way for him to bow out. I think Conor Benn, I think his emotions will get the better of him again. I just don't think he can be controlled. I think he's a bit like a firework waiting to be lit. As soon as you light the fuse, you can't get him back. So I think that will happen in the fight, and the game plan will go out the window for him again. And I think Eubank will use his experience and win on points.
Sean, let me ask you a quick question on it, because do we think that Eubank was the best he could be that night when he beat Benn? And then the flip side to that is, has Benn learned valuable lessons where he can change the game plan? Because that's the only reason I'm going with my pick, mate, is that I feel like Eubank was fantastic and Benn was nearly there. So he do his training team make a few adjustments, because that's the way I see him winning this fight, making a few adjustments.
Yeah, I think for Eubank, it almost gives him an extra few percent that he's fighting Benn. Obviously, the family name on the line. Yeah. I think he just has a mentality that he'll do whatever it takes not to lose, and we saw that in the first fight. As you say, Brett, he didn't think he had that in him. So I think he's going to go in the fight with the same mindset. Of course, Conor Benn can adapt his game plan and change his tactics. But I just think he's the type of character where his heart rules his head too much and he gets too emotional. And I think that's going to be hard for him. I don't think that's something you can just sort of kick out of someone straight away. So I think he'll still have that trait. And that's why I think Eubank's experience will come through.
Carl, have you heard any rumours about the weight? Is he struggling? Is he struggling this week? Because I know that on fight night, he had to get, fight day, he's weighing, he had to get £9 off in that one day.
Yeah, nothing mentioned yet, but the reason why I think Eubank does a better job on him this time and stops him late is because he's got Bomac in his corner, who just will not allow him to cut corners, is my belief. So, no, nothing about the weight, but I'm going for Eubank to stop Benn late, 10-11, because I think Bomac's going to have that much of an influence over Eubank Jr. I think he'll cut the weight. I think he would have cut the weight better this time and come in with a little bit more energy down the championship rounds.
Because Crawford obviously proved going up to fight Canelo with the weight. He looks $1 million on the scales, doesn't he? Whenever he's had to come down, his skin, he don't look dry or anything. His skin, so yeah.
Although he's never had to do a rehydration clause though, Brett. Yeah.
So on that, I was just thinking the other day. So at what time after on the weigh-in day is the rehydration clause?
So it's normally, my belief is it's normally the morning of the fight, isn't it? I think they do a check weight the morning of the fight. Is what
9 a.m. I think it is.
Yeah, I was going to say 10, but you might be right, 9 a.m.
And then after that, obviously they can't, because they're going to have the best nutritionist next to him. But after that, it's fair game. So if he's put £10 on, and then he weighs in that morning, and as soon as he leaves the room, they're proteining him up. Okay.
Yeah, but by all accounts, it's not good for the body to start hammering it all back. It's got to be phased. But I just believe he'll have a more professional camp this time around with Bomac than he would have previously. I'm going for Eubank. He's late. That's what I'm going. So that's our opinions on all things Eubank versus Benn. This has been Last Bell Boxing. Bear with me here. Proudly sponsored by Shaw's Building Services, SC Travel Limited, James Agler Promotions, and watchsports.com. We'll see you on the next live video. Like, comment, subscribe. Post your comments below. Thank you very much. Cheers, Brett, and cheers, Sean.